What, you think they'll prep for that? I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get this
more attractive to me than Sheryl Crow. That might be a hot take.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday to you all. Hope you all had a nice weekend. I had my favorite 2 college basketball bets hit yesterday, so I guess I'll start with good news. My favorite 2 college basketball bets hit. I went 4-0 in the betting league. That's the good news. The bad news is, despite having a record-breaking amount of closing line value on my 4 NBA bets yesterday, I went 0-4, and they actually weren't even close. Crazy. The market, I mean, Sharps got smoked yesterday in the NBA, but I mean, it's NBA on Sunday. If you're not new to this, you know, it tends to be a weird day, an unpredictable day at that. Before we get into anything, this episode's brought to you by SeatGeek. Today's episode is brought to you by SeatGeek, and I want to give them a shout out here. If you're looking for a spot to get the best deal on tickets to some March Madness action, got to go with SeatGeek here. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are over 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, and not just sports. They've got concerts on there, festivals. If you need tickets to an event, SeatGeek is the spot. I love SeatGeek. I'm a huge SeatGeek guy. I like how each ticket is rated on a 1 to 10 scale. You got to look for the green dots. The green dots means great deal. Red dots mean not as great of a deal. If you want $20 off tickets from SeatGeek, use the code KIRMS, KIRMS. That's $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek if you use the promo code KIRMS. And it doesn't have to be right now. You can click the link in the description and download the app, and you'll still get the $20 off later if you click this link right now. Promo code KIRMS. The #1 ticketing app, the best in the business. Why wait? Head on over to SeatGeek. Promo code KIRMS. All right. So, anyway, thanks, SeatGeek. Let's talk about today's games. And first one up, we got Toronto at Washington. And so if you guys were reading what I wrote last night or were in the Discord, I have this one. I had this one at Washington -1. So I saw it. It was Washington +3. Considered hitting it. I elected to pass. Which obviously, looking back, probably not the best decision. It's now at Washington -2. All that being said, at the current price, I'm inclined to lean towards the Raptors side here, catching 2 points. Now, it's tough because the Raptors are 2-11 straight up on back-to-backs. They're 6-7 against the number, so it hasn't been wildly unprofitable to bet them on back-to-backs. But they're 2-11 straight up. So they haven't exactly been winning these games. And also, maybe I shouldn't be thinking this way, but I'd be lying if I said it's not in the back of my mind that I just bet Toronto yesterday and they lost by about 40 points. They got absolutely smoked at home by the Spurs, and it was embarrassing. So there's that as well. But the truth is, this is a good matchup for Toronto. They've been so good against bad teams. And in case you haven't been following the NBA this year, the Wizards are most definitely a bad team. Against bottom 10 offenses, so against the worst offenses in the NBA, the Raptors are 17-5 against the spread. 17-5. So if you've been blindly betting the Raptors every single time they play a bad offense, you are swimming in it this season. Also, where are the Raptors really strong? The offensive glass. In the last 10 games, they're second in offensive rebounding rate. This is a Washington Wizards team that cannot protect the defensive glass. They're last, 30th. So there should be plenty of opportunities for the Raptors to have second chance points here. Ready for this? Against the top 5 offensive rebounding teams in the NBA, the Wizards are 1-10 against the spread. So look, it's a good matchup for the Raptors on paper. The line has now swung 5 whole points the other way, to the point where maybe there's enough value here. Maybe there's enough meat on the bone to throw a quick jab at Toronto. I know people in the Discord are into it. There's a few people in the group that did jump on this Toronto +2. I am not one of them, but that's the side I would be on at the current number. Lindy, what do you think?
I would do just about anything other than not bet or watch this basketball game. I think is probably the right way to start this one off. Yay, NBA show, but I look at Toronto, Washington. I think it's just definitely a lean towards the under. I mean, we got RJ Barrett resting. You're getting Emmanuel quickly. I'm assuming Walter and Battle, although we got a weird Colin Castleton out of the middle of nowhere starting at the 4 situation. And I mean, coming off of yesterday was just dumb all the way around. I didn't end up on a single spread or total from yesterday, which was kind of interesting. Oh, so Clippers in the evening I did, but that's neither here nor there. RJ Barrett out. I just kind of look on the other side here with Washington as well. I mean, how about these? They're 7-6 with Chris Middleton. They are 9-48 without him. The Washington Wizards are. So I'm probably with you where it would be a lean that direction. But I mean, I probably should have stabbed this at 231.5 where it was at last night, sitting at 227.5. Yeah, it's still a little bit thin, but I was just shy on this game overall because I didn't know RJ Barrett would rest. I knew something wonky was bound to happen here. I still think it's live to happen. If you're looking at props, it would be overs or pass purely because you could hope somebody gets surprisingly scratched or you get a weird Washington starting lineup with I don't know. Tristan Vucevic has started for Christ's sake. And then he basically DNP-CD'd. He just played the last 2 minutes of a game the other day because he's been playing too well for Washington in spurts where they need to keep him off the floor. Tristan Vucevic is somebody that they are basically just saying we can't give unlimited run to. I hate this game. Everybody hates it. May God have mercy on all their souls.
Yeah. It's not the most appetizing of games. What do you think, Chris?
I think we should go to the next one.
Sounds good. I will say
that's a great handicap there.
I will say Pirtle and Quickly are going to play here. And if you just isolate it to the games where they play, the Raptors have been profitable. They're 8-3 against the spread in their last 11. So the narrative that the Raptors are tanking, maybe it's true. They're still covering. Next up, Minnesota, Indiana. This is one of the bets I have placed. I got the Pacers at -1 last night. Pacers, Timberwolves. Okay, so obviously, what do we know about this year's Minnesota team? They take a lot of threes. That's not new. You already know that. In the last 10 games, they're 3rd in three-point frequency, 4th in efficiency. So not only do the Timberwolves take a lot of three-point shots, but they make them at a high rate. This is one of the best three-point shooting offenses in the NBA. Why am I bringing this up? Because that's by far the strength of the Pacers defense. This is a top 5 three-point defense. So right off the bat, we know what Minnesota's trying to do plays into the strength of the Pacers defense. The Pacers have definitely been more profitable against teams who shoot threes, against the top 10 teams in terms of three-point frequency. So against the 10 teams that take the most threes in the NBA, 13-9 against the spread. They're 10-13 against the spread against the bottom 10 in three-point frequency. So bet the Pacers against teams that shoot threes, fade the Pacers against teams that attack the paint. That's been a profitable strategy this year when it comes to this Indiana team. And also on the other side of the court, why do I like the matchup for Indiana offensively? They run in transition. We know Minnesota's not trying to pick up the pace. I believe they're dead last in transition frequency, certainly one of the lowest in the NBA. This is not a team that gets out and runs. Indiana is, and Minnesota against the top 10 teams in terms of transition frequency, 8-14 against the spread, 9-6 against the bottom 10. So Minnesota's been profitable against teams that don't run in transition. They have not been profitable against teams that do. Pacers definitely do. Give me Indiana, -1. I would still bet it at 2.5.
I got 2 props from this one. Tyrese Halliburton over 26.5 points plus assists. Mike Conley under 4.5 assists. So we'll start on the Halliburton side. First game back in a little while here. He ended up getting up to 32 minutes against Brooklyn. 4 fouls didn't really come into play there. I think 32, 33 minutes is kind of where they were going to be capping him at. I think you can extend that by another minute or 2 here. Projects out to be pretty close. Once again, that's always useful this time of year. Keyword project, because random stuff is going to happen from time to time. You'll get these game scripts that you really have to account for when you're modeling it out. But Tyrese Halliburton just been on an absolute ride here in the assist department. The thing with Minnesota, though, is that I kind of want to incorporate the points with it here, too. Pretty low VIG, at least it was last night. So I think that kind of continues. And then the Mike Conley piece, this just comes down to minutes. I don't think he'll be in a lot of closing lineups going forward with Dante DiVincenzo back and healthy. This is just something that we haven't really seen these kind of game scripts for a while. Mike Conley ended up going to the bench so Joe Ingles could start on Saturday. One of the better stories of the weekend. If you missed it, go and put that in the old Google machine. Really, really touching stuff. Mike Conley, 28, 32 minutes. Those are not going to be the norms here, I think, for a Mike Conley offense with this entire team back and healthy. I assume Ant plays. If he doesn't, I'm obviously going to be in a lot of trouble, but Ant has routinely played through these Q tags. I would be very shocked if that were to be the case where he ends up sitting. And I think Dante DiVincenzo, again, we've had just some wonky game scripts, like a 40-point W against the Pelicans. They lost by 4. They had the competitive game against Indy's second unit in a loss there last time out as well. I think Mike Conley under 4.5 assists, one of my favorite plays on the board.
One of your favorite plays on the board. I like it.
Yeah, minus 125 BetMGM. It's kind of it's a great pick 'em play too for a lot of people out there.
Someone said this game's it. Oh, it looks like the it looks like the start time on the graphics are wrong. Sorry about that. Chris.
I actually like that play, Mike Conley under his assist, Lindy. I like that a lot. I may end up telling that. I didn't play this game because I'm kind of waiting on the Anthony Edwards news. I think with the revenge, it's a little bit more difficult for me, Kyle, to take Indiana. I think that you potentially are on the right side. Pacers haven't really been covering for whatever reason. 1-9 against the number in their last 10. That's pretty.
They've been
concerning.
winning.
And they have been winning
Yeah.
barely on some game winners, and most of the time you're teetering on a loss when you continue to do that. That's what we saw happen with the Cavs, and then they lost 4 in a row. So I do think that you're potentially on the right side. I'm not sure if he's going to play, Kyle. I really would love to know if Anthony Edwards is going to play, and then I'll try to find out, whether I was going to play this game. I think they have something like 3 days of rest. They don't play again until Friday afterwards. So maybe you rest them, give them a nice long break, and I think that next game is back to a conference game. So, Minnesota has been good though. They've been good as a favorite. They've been good in revenge spots this season. And we just saw these two teams play. Lindy mentioned it. Indiana was extremely shorthanded. I think the only play they had was Obi Toppin, and it was enough. He had a corner game winner against them from 3. I think he finished with 38 points. So I think Minnesota comes and tries to get that revenge. We've seen them play well in revenge spots here this season. I forgot what the number is, but I put it in my notes. 10-4 straight up, 9-5 against the number of revenge games if they lost the first one as a favorite. So we kind of just saw it against the Pelicans, but I know this is not the Pelicans. I also consider undercal for everything that you mentioned. Minnesota shoots a ton of threes. The Pacers also to guard the 3-point line really well, of course. Minnesota, do they get out and run in transition, Kyle? Absolutely not. Do the Pacers get out and run in transition? Yes. Do the Timberwolves get back on defense? Yes. It just came down too low. Hopefully Anthony Edwards gets rolled in. That was a play that I like. I play under in this game. It was 233.5, I think is what it opened at, 233, down to 231. Now it's all the way down to 228. So if it goes back up, maybe I look towards the under.
So a humble and gentle Mexican, I appreciate your kind words. No, I'm not Mexican. I'm Italian and German, but I appreciate that I have the support of the Mexican community. I am not, though. I don't want to falsely represent myself.
Que lastima.
And I can confirm that you, Capper, and Daft are two different people. I actually just talked to Daft the other day. He's coming on this week as a guest. So I know for a fact they're two different people. I know them both. Next up, Lakers at Orlando. This is a really fun one. In terms of betting it, I mean, obviously before LeBron James got hurt, LeBron James is supposed to come back, by the way, for those of you that might not have known that. LeBron James is supposed to return to the Lakers lineup tonight. Before he got hurt, the Lakers were on a warpath. I think they were like 8-1 against the spread. They were on a true warpath with LeBron and Luka Doncic together. So that's the question is, LeBron's back on the floor. Do the Lakers just pick up right where they left off? When I ran it through, I had it at about Magic +3. So I guess I would lean towards Orlando at the number, but I'm not trying to step in front of the Lakers if they're about to just pick up running and be one of the best teams in the NBA down the stretch. You could put Orlando up, but I'm not betting this. Let me be very clear. I'm not betting this game. I kind of think it might go over the total as well. Orlando, weirdly, we've seen a couple of games where Orlando actually was running in transition recently. I'm not saying that's what they're going to be doing. But with LeBron and Luka on the floor, could see some scoring. You could just put Orlando up, not betting this game. I'll have it on, though, because I'm interested to see how the Lakers look. But I don't really see a ton of betting value personally. Lindy, did you find anything in this one?
Absolutely not. You did have LeBron James show up on Saturday, so we had that butt kicking Josh Giddey Fest that was Saturday. That normally sounds like a high school prom. That would be Josh Giddey Fest. But in fact, this time around, it was just simply him putting up a stat line nobody in NBA history had ever put up before. Like 12, 10, 17, and 8 steals to go with it. Absurd stuff. Obviously, Wilt Chamberlain didn't get blocks or steals, or he probably would have done that, I'm sure. But I look at this play, like logically, LeBron, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, all playing in the same basketball game. You just kind of stare at it and it's like, all right, well, I'd be willing to lay 3.5, 4. And I'm really not, because I model it out and I'm actually closer to like 2 for the Orlando side of things. So it's like +2. It's a little dicey. I think these are the ones that it's okay to just kind of keep off your card. The other part is that lower variance basketball, when you start getting these totals that are way down there, you start adding up the points of each individual player. It's always going to project out a little bit higher from a prop department than what the actual total is. The reason is people are going to play their overs. They're going to bet numbers into a certain place. And then you're just better off taking unders in a lot of those spots. Nobody wants to hear that, though. For me, it would just be Orlando or pass, which I just absolutely hate now.
I almost agree word for word with what you said. I had the exact same thoughts that I think it should be about 2.5, 3 was exactly where I had it. We're polling almost 70% Lakers. So as far as the people watching right now,
doesn't shock me.
I mean,
you got LeBron and Luka out there again, and it's
not
hard.
It's not just the fact that it's LeBron and Luka, and like theoretically, what is that? We've seen it. They were on a warpath. They were beating and covering against everybody. So it's not that I can't say like I don't get it for those of you that are betting the Lakers in this one. Let's swing it over to an actual Laker fan. Chris, what do you think?
The more I thought about the game, the more I'll tell you guys a play. I actually just played it. I've been thinking about this all day. Just wanted to see where the line was gonna go. So I just locked in a play while you guys were talking. But the more I think about the game, the more I kind of feel like it's a Lakers spot. So did I play it? No, I didn't play the full game. And if you like Orlando, there's some reasons to like Orlando. They have the rest advantage. The Lakers haven't been profitable on the road. They're just 6-8 against the number. Orlando has been better offensively, defensively last 5 games. They played a stronger strength of schedule. The Lakers are 0-7 straight up, 0-6-1 against the number in road games with a total that's below 220, all that good stuff. But for the Lakers, you're coming off a drumming where Chicago scored 4 million points. I think they had 275,810 points with Josh Giddey going out there and getting those numbers that you mentioned, Lindy. I think you get a nice bounce back here. And the teams that I'm afraid to play against the Magic, like when I want to take the Magic as a dog, are strong offensive teams. I know the Lakers' offense hasn't been great, and I don't think that you can measure the Lakers. You mentioned it being on that warpath, Kyle. I don't think you can measure what the Lakers have actually been doing based on the last few games. Remember, they went on the road trip. LeBron didn't play in any of those games. Luka was in and out of the lineup. LeBron only's been back for 1 game. So you can't really look at their offense and say, okay, where they are the 24th rated offense. I think that they're going to try to get out and run in this game. Not that Orlando's not a great defensive team in transition, but I think that they just have too much offense. Orlando's a team that takes a lot of their shots in the mid-range, and the Lakers have defenders to throw at Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. Who's going to do the scoring outside of those 2 guys for the Orlando Magic? Like, I'm having trouble figuring that part out. So I think just coming off that beating that happened in the game, I think that they're the right side as far as the game goes. What I played, though, transitioning to what I actually played, I played the Lakers early. First quarter is what I played. We talked about playing. I gave a first quarter bet out last week, Al, and it was against this Orlando Magic team. And it was the Houston Rockets minus the 1, I think it was, in that game. So coming off that embarrassing loss, I do expect a lot better defensive effort early in this game. Chicago's offense is nothing like the Orlando Magic's offense, of course. Orlando typically starts the games pretty slow. They're 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 first quarters at home. And the Lakers, since Luka, I don't know what that number is, but it's something like 18-3 in the first quarter. But specifically last 10, they're 7-3 against the number. And then on the road, they're also 8-2 against the number. So if I can get the Lakers just to have a 1-possession lead at the end of the first quarter, I'm cool with that. I played Lakers -1. The number's available right now on Bet365 at no juice, -110.
Next. Dallas, Brooklyn. I messed up. Lindy can go first. I messed up.
Okay. Yeah, I like Dallas quite a bit. First off, for those that didn't catch it, Anthony Davis is questionable. You don't upgrade somebody of Anthony Davis's caliber to questionable unless you are strongly considering him playing basketball tonight. Now, the reason I'm not Hulk slamming this is because they play the Knicks tomorrow. If they didn't play the Knicks tomorrow, I would be more than fine of just Hulk slamming this, because an upgrade to questionable would carry even more merit for me with the way that I've just basically done NBA for years. So I look at the injury report. I think Anthony Davis is very live to play in this. But that being said, a play that I like independent of Anthony Davis and then becomes an absolute slam in the event that he ends up out is PJ Washington under 30.5 PRA. It was minus 130, which is a little bit juice heavy, but I don't care. This is an asinine type number. And I know he played back-to-back 38 minutes here, but number one, PJ Washington playing more minutes alongside of Spencer Dinwiddie and a Brandon Williams whose usage has been up. Then you add in Anthony Davis, who's going to project for over 30% usage. The point total goes down. Next up, Kai Jones has been starting at the 5. When we've seen massive rebounding outputs from PJ Washington, traditionally been PJ Washington starting at the 5. My dog really liked that one. Dude, what are you doing? Where are you going? Oh, he's so mad. Okay, but PJ Washington generally gets all those rebounding massive games that box score lookers will look at. Him starting at the 5. Now you're getting more bodies active, which is just basically all that's mattered for Dallas. They're very strapped and ridden because this contract for Klay Thompson is kind of forcing their hand. They can't pick up as many guys. There's a lot that goes into that. But the last portion, 3 of the last 4 games, he's played without the ball in his hand like entirely. 0 assists in 3 of his last 4. We're talking a change in style from Jason Kidd with more minutes for Spencer Dinwiddie. We're talking less rebounds because of Kai Jones, and then one of the best rebounders in the NBA in Anthony Davis that could show up there. And lastly, the usage takes a huge dip. Just give me a short of the entire portfolio. Oh, and did I mention Brooklyn plays at the slowest pace in the entire NBA? Defensive metrics have been in the top 12 in adjusted defensive rating over the course of the last month. I feel pretty darn good about this being my favorite play on the board.
Yeah, I bet the Nets at +1. Didn't realize Anthony Davis was coming back last night. Had a case of the Sundays. Just wasn't paying close enough attention. I will say, I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Davis comes back and they still lose. I don't think that's like crazy, but I certainly would not have bet it. Dallas has looked pretty terrible. So, yeah, I bet the Nets. I don't like it. I didn't know Anthony Davis was coming back. Hopefully he doesn't play. Chris?
I actually made a bet too, Cal, here that I'm not gonna say I regret it, but if I knew it, I saw Anthony Davis was listed as doubtful. I just didn't think that he was gonna get upgraded to questionable. I thought they were playing. Me neither. I thought that he would probably rest. Like
I thought Dallas was packing it in. I didn't even think we were going to see Anthony Davis again the rest of the season.
No. So I've been following Dallas media, and they talking about like how the beat writers are reporting that they want him to like not come back, and he's like, no, I need to come back. So apparently they're like pushing all their chips into the middle. They're trying to get Lively back. They're trying to get Gafford back. Like they're really trying to make a push. And you can tell that they've been playing with a little bit of effort. They had a big win against Detroit. They won that game wire to wire. They covered first quarter, first half, and full game, beat Detroit outright. And I think they were getting 10.5 points. So I don't think that they're necessarily done. If you look at the standings right now, they are tied with Phoenix. They're on the outside looking in, though, because Phoenix has the tiebreaker over them, even though they got the same record out west. So I think they're still going for it, Kyle. Regardless of all that, what I bet, and I don't really like it as much now, even though I guess it's still a low COV, is I end up betting the over at 217.5. So I know it's up to 218.5 now. Anthony Davis coming back. I just don't think the Dallas is going to play the same way. They've been flying up and over totals. 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games. Their last 7 have gone up and over. They're averaging 247 points. So even though Brooklyn is not a great offensive team, Dallas is only playing fast. This was, of course, without Anthony Davis. Second in pace. Brooklyn has played the 3rd strongest strength of schedule in their last 5 games. I thought that they were going to be able to get some offensive aggression because they did have a 3 or 4 game span in there where they were going over. And this was after Cam Thomas had already been rolled out as well. They played Boston a couple games and went up and over the number. From a trends perspective, they are 6-1 to the over since the All-Star break in their home games, averaging 228 points. Now, Anthony Davis getting ruled in, D'Lo getting ruled out, and Zion Williams being ruled in does not make me confidently want to play this. But I do think if Anthony Davis doesn't play, we're going to see this game play with pace, and both of these teams will get up and down the floor. Dallas has been one of the worst defensive rebounding teams, so maybe Brooklyn can grab some offensive rebounds and get some second chance opportunities as well. But I got a 217.5. Don't love it. I think I played a half unit.
Let's move on to the next one. Philadelphia, New Orleans. So yeah, this was 6 last night. It's down to 3 because Zion's been ruled out, Bruce Brown's been ruled out, CJ McCollum's been ruled out, Brandon Boston's been ruled out. I have zero interest at all. I mean, I could go through my notes, but honestly, what's the point? I'm not betting it. I have no interest in betting it. So I'm good. Chris?
You're muted, Lindy.
Of course I am. I'm an idiot. Don't mind me. 3 Philly guys that are listed right now on the in the prop market right now. Yabusele, Edwards, and who's the last one that I literally just was
Butler or Council?
Is it Ricky Council?
Yeah, I don't even see him right now. I don't see him anywhere over on OddsShopper. I'm not seeing anybody at the moment. It's just asinine. Obviously, no Quentin Grimes. You're replacing 36.5 PRA that was out in the marketplace. Trying to spread that around. This is a ridiculous basketball game, like an absolutely abhorrent. I mean, this is kind of like Toronto, Washington, where nothing would surprise me. And usually when that's the case, I'm just looking at jamming some unders or single game parlaying some unders together and just hoping for the worst, which is definitely live to happen. But I don't see how you don't play Yabusele decent minutes. I mean, I assume we get Butler and Doughton starting in the backcourt. Doughton's functional to some extent. Jared Butler can really get stuff done on a floor from time to time, but I don't see their props anywhere. Ricky Council coming off the bench is my assumption. They've been starting Okiki here. So from an individual handicapping perspective, like Evis Missy is still questionable. If he doesn't start, there's like Hulk windmill slam potential for Karlo Matkovic, where I would be looking at his double-double. It was like plus 450 yesterday. He was going to get it if it weren't for like 6 fouls in the shortest amount of time I've ever seen for an actual functional rotational piece there. I didn't even know who Keon Brooks Jr. was yesterday, tweeted that out. I think there's a chance he starts today. So, I mean, we're just talking about one of the most ridiculous games ever. I do have a ton of prop interest. It's just hard to know what that is until more stuff drops.
Yeah, I mean, we know New Orleans has struggled against teams that run in transition. Philadelphia has been running in transition, but who knows if they will run in transition with the current lineup. It's like not even worth me talking about, honestly. Chris?
It's not even worth me talking about either, Kyle.
Yeah, stupid. Next. Chicago, Denver. Okay, so I think this one's gotten a little out of control here, and I actually am considering placing this. So we all know why Chicago's taking money, right? It's a combination of the injuries. It's a combination of this team just cannot stop covering. The Bulls, I believe, are 8-2 against the spread in their last 10. I think they're 7-3 straight up. Chicago's been winning games. They've been covering the number. Bulls look good. They're playing defense. Their offense has become less one-dimensional. This is not just a three-point shooting offense. They've been attacking the paint. They've been scoring in the paint. So I get why Chicago's taking money here. I mean, Jokic just got ruled out as well. Aaron Gordon is questionable. I think this is a little too far. I mean, there's a 3 open? A 3? When I first looked at this game, I was like, all right, you got Denver on a back-to-back, by the way. So you got Denver on a back-to-back. Chicago looks good. It's not a bad matchup for the Bulls. Like, oh, man, this might be worth a Chicago. This might be worth a look at Chicago. I'm expecting to bet a Bulls plus 8. Shit's at 4. Now, obviously, I knew Jokic wasn't going to play based on that number. But now that it's down to 3, this is a little crazy to me. I think Denver at the current is the play. I mean, you got to remember, Denver's been one of the most profitable teams in the NBA on a back-to-back. We're down to 1 possession between a playoff team and the Bulls. I mean, how long do you expect the Bulls to keep this up for? This is not a good team. Sure, bad teams go through spurts where they play well. We've seen several. I mean, we've seen the Wizards play well for a stretch. I think now that it's down to 3, I'd consider betting the Nuggets. I don't have a bet on this game, but I think there's just way too much action. They're overplaying their hand here with the Bulls. If you're getting 6.5, I could see it, and I'm with it. But down to 3, you're taking the Bulls to go in there and just basically beat them? Nah, I think the quote unquote sharps are overplaying their hands here. I think it's Denver. Lindy?
Josh Giddey triple-double plus 375 at BetMGM. Hi, how are you this fine day? Josh Giddey, 19.8% usage, 32.2% assist rate, 13.2% total rebound rate with Alonzo Ball and Trey Jones off the floor. Josh Giddey, I mean, obviously they're bottom dwellers down there in the East, but they are playing for that play-in tournament spot. And Chicago, they're just in purgatory as a basketball squad as is, but plus 375, there's plus 320, plus 325 over at plus 310 at FanDuel here at the moment. But any of those type of numbers, I'm actually okay with purely because of this. You look at the rebound rate, you're not getting full blast minutes for Vooch alongside him like you were earlier in the season. So that's a 17.5% total rebound rate getting flipped off the floor. Also, and I think this is kind of the main reason that I like this play, it comes down to the rebounds, because I think assists-wise, Josh Giddey, we can all see he's playing with the ball in his hand ad nauseum. He's shooting more efficiently. He's definitely looked a lot better here since getting healthy. It's a high-paced Denver matchup where you're projecting them for over 100 possessions. Everything is kind of check as far as the triple-double goes. But I want to point out the rebound rate of Zach Collins as a Chicago Bull relative to Jalen Smith, who was the backup 5. Jalen Smith, 17.6% total rebound rate. Zach Collins, alongside 12.7%. We're talking nearly 5% difference in the backup 5. That is a truly remarkable type of gap for me when I'm rerunning everything here. It's getting Josh Giddey up into that echelon where 10, 11, it's not some statistical anomaly. Now, it obviously is definitely the hardest leg of these three, but whenever I see a leg like this that I think is undervalued, instead of like laddering it up there, just give me the triple-double for ultimate upside there. Again, plus 375 BetMGM.
Giddey triple-double. I like it. And for those of you that, so there's a lot of people watching that like the Bulls. So let me just, a couple matchup things here. First of all, the Nuggets are 12-2 on 0 days rest this year. They're 12-2 straight up. So the idea that the Nuggets are on I only adjusted the handicap 1 point towards the Bulls for that. I mean, this team is 12-2 on 0 days rest. Also, both these teams are top 10 in pace. So especially if they take Jokic out, we should see a fast-paced game here. Check this out. The Nuggets against the top 10 teams at pace, 11-8 against the spread. The Bulls are 10-14 against the spread. So the Bulls have actually been more profitable against slow-paced teams when the Nuggets are more profitable against fast-paced teams. So even matchup-wise, it's not bad for the Nuggets. And like I said, my opinion on this one is the Sharps have overplayed their hand. So I'm kind of talking myself into betting that -3. Chris, what do you think?
I agree, Kyle. I thought the more I thought about the game earlier, and you know I'm on a Bulls free diet. I cashed with them one time last week against the Suns, and I just jumped off the bandwagon. And they've been covering ever since. Like I think outside that, well, it says that they didn't cover the Suns game, but I got a 6, and it was 5.5. So yeah, they have covered. I think 9 in a row. It makes sense. I just think it's too public too, Kyle. Like I don't want to be with the public in this spot, especially knowing how good Denver is. That was where I started my handicap at as well. They did exert a lot of energy yesterday. Against, going into Houston and winning that game outright. Chicago has been playing really, really good basketball as well. I kind of still want to take the over, Kyle. Like, I still think the game's going to be played super fast. I know it's no Jokic. The total hasn't really moved. I thought it would come down some without Jokic being there. But if you're going to beat Chicago, in my opinion, it's not going to be because of your defense. Chicago's going to shoot a bunch of threes. Denver can give up. They're susceptible to the three-point shot, especially on the second leg of a back-to-back without Jokic. And I do think that Denver is going to be able to score. Where? Specifically in the paint. A lot of Aaron Gordon, some of those other guys that get down there. Christian Braun getting downhill. Russell Westbrook attacking the rim. Like, I think it's going to be point score here, Cal. So it's not like Chicago's playing a lot of defense. They still gave up 115 to the Lakers. They played 3 straight overs. 4 of their last 5 gone up and over the total as well. So as much of a public dog as the Bulls are, I don't want to get there. I think it's just going to be point score. I'm not going to bet it, though, because it is the last game of a 6-game road trip for Chicago, and they could potentially run out of gas.
I'm betting this, Chris. Let's do it. Come on.
Yeah. Hang on. I got a question for both of you. So have you guys looked at the box score from yesterday?
I mean, probably at some point.
No. Who do you think played the most minutes on Denver yesterday?
Guess without looking.
Michael Porter Jr.
I'm going to say Brown.
DeAndre Jordan.
Oh, okay.
He played 38 minutes yesterday. And everybody's projecting him. I'm looking around the industry at, a lot of the DFS stuff that I'm going to cover after this show over on the Stochastic YouTube channel. But DeAndre Jordan played 38 and a half minutes in his hometown, or I guess Dallas is his hometown, his home state, excuse me. But I look at what happens if Aaron Gordon sits here on this back-to-back, because Aaron Gordon played 37 minutes on a back-to-back. He's had some injuries, some nagging injuries. I'm just curious what you guys think about these rotations and what's going to happen here, because it's going to be a lot more Christian Brown, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray. Russell Westbrook, I assume, comes back into the starting unit if you get Aaron Gordon out. I think you just slide everybody over there. Maybe you do start DJ, maybe it's Zeke Naji. I can't imagine they're going to dust off Dario Saric, but wanted to ask you guys your opinion on who you think those rotations are going to be, because that's the thing that really keeps me away from wanting to touch this spread on the Denver side. Otherwise, I'm with Kyle there. And I'm also would be a huge advocate of the over if it wasn't a back-to-back with, all these unknown quantities.
Even if Aaron Gordon doesn't play, I agree. Yes, it gives them giant holes in the front court. I would still say it's the Nuggets at home in the elevation against a Bulls team that's at the ultimate sell high spot. I think this is going to be one of those where we look back 3 weeks from now and be like, do you remember when they gave us the Nuggets at -3 against the Bulls? Because I think the Bulls are going to turn back into a pumpkin. It just is like ultimate sell high spot for the Bulls being close to. You're implying that, okay, it's a 3-point line right now in Denver. You're implying that this at a neutral court, this be close to a pick'em? Are we fucking crazy? It's the Bulls. This team sucks.
DeAndre Jordan's gonna play 38 minutes in the front court again.
Honestly, against Vooch, who on the Bulls is scaring you? I don't know. Let's move on to the next one.
I just wanted to ask because it's the only thing that keeps me from betting Denver is DeAndre Jordan with my money.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of uncertainty in the front court. Hopefully Aaron Gordon plays.
Did you bet it already, Kyle?
No, I'm about to.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should wait.
What's going on with this game, Chris? Is there something going on with this game?
Which one?
Bucks Suns.
I don't see it moving at all. You see it moving?
Lillard's out.
Yeah, no, that was last night. There's no update to this
out.
game? All right.
I didn't see anything.
So.
You bet it?
Yeah. All right, guys.
That's a lot of confidence, Kyle. Yeah.
No, it's just like me and this Suns team, we have history, and so it's hard to see past it. Like, I feel like we've both grown as, like, the Suns have grown as a team since I was betting them, and then I feel like I've grown as a person since the days where I was betting the Suns. So I feel like we've both come a long way, but it's like just a lot of negative energy that I feel is going to resurface. I'm on the Suns here. I grabbed the -3. They're playing inspired basketball right now. They're looking very inspired. God damn. All right. So my real reason for the bet, the Suns have won and covered 5 consecutive home games. You guys know how I feel about the Bucks offense. We've talked about it several times. Very significant splits with Milwaukee on the offensive side of the ball. When they have both Giannis and Lillard on the court, they're dynamic. They're one of the best offenses in the NBA when they both play. But when either one is missing, there's a significant drop-off. If you remember, I've showed those graphics on the channel plenty of times. So you take Lillard out, all of a sudden, it makes Milwaukee's offense a little bit limited. Phoenix has been playing defense and rebounding. I don't even know what year it is. Phoenix has been playing defense and rebounding. I'm riding the hot hand here. I'm going back to my ex. Suns -3. Lindy?
You've said enough.
Yo, someone just said, Kyle texting the Suns at 3 a.m. You up?
Oh my God. Yeah, you definitely started that off as if it was like there was definitely some, like, when you meet up with your girl, like your girl from college 15 years after the fact, and you just kind of apologize for everything that went down.
And then you're like, let's give it another shot.
Let's give it another shot.
Oh, no, we still are toxic as fuck. We still don't. This still doesn't work. That's me and the Suns.
Here's what's going to happen is you guys are going to go out for dinner. You're going to get into that one argument about that one thing from 15 years ago, and it's fucking over. So enjoy that moment tonight.
It's the same argument. It's just that I still care about the YouTube channel more than her. It's just that's what it comes down to. That hasn't changed. Still true. Chris,
Hit the like button.
this is derives from a true story. Chris, are you with me on the Suns?
Man, I can't bet them, Kyle, but yeah, I think they're the right side. I think the Bucks stole one against Sacramento the other day. I love what the Phoenix Suns are doing. They're playing that inspired basketball that Ski was talking about on Friday, Kyle. You're absolutely right. No travel in this game as well. Milwaukee, like I said, they're at the rest disadvantage as well. Had to travel, I think, 4 straight games for Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Now they're down a guy. So, yeah, I know it's a short number. I know that as soon as I put my money on the Suns, they'll turn into the Buns. But I'm going to wish you a lot of success here. I'm going to wish you a lot of success here. I do think that you're on the right side. I'm off the game. I bet under last night, but the number's gone now. I got 228.
Why have I never heard that quote before? As soon as I bet the Suns, they'll turn into the Buns. All right.
Get a Buns.
Well, I did bet that. Celtics Kings, interesting matchup, and it might have just been late last night when I got to this one. Was having trouble finding anything I felt was interesting about this matchup. I'll pass the ball over to Lindy or Chris. Either of you guys find anything interesting in this one?
Yeah, the spread. This is like this is the most clear-cut thing ever. Got it at 4 yesterday. I couldn't believe that it was sitting at 4, minus 108 on FanDuel. It is a 4.5, I believe, still inside of minus 110 over there. I don't get it. I really don't. Everything's setting up well for Boston here. They get Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis in there after resting them yesterday. They were able to take care of business. Jason Tatum looked awesome. Peyton Pritchard, first start of the season, which was pretty wild to run into. And now you're getting arrested Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis on this back-to-back. Al Horford is the one who ends up getting his rest day here. Sam Hauser questionable, which matters when he hit, 8 threes yesterday or something. But that's neither here nor there. Huge upgrade to get those pieces. And then the big one, Jaylen Brown just got upgraded to questionable. I didn't even think he was going to play basketball here in this spot. You know by now, I go individual player by player, like to kind of look at on-off court splits for individual teams. We're going to potentially get the entire normal Boston starting 5 against Sacramento at 4.5. What am I missing? What am I actually missing here? I don't get it. It's a back-to-back. 2 of those 5 didn't even play in the game. They were able to mute some minutes here and there across the board for everybody else. Yeah, Sam Hauser not available off the bench. Whoop-de-doo. Peyton Pritchard back into his regular role. Everything for me just doesn't make sense. So while the Lakers, we had that discussion there, and you can just say it doesn't really process. This one I actually ran numbers to, showing up around 7 for me. That is more than a bet here. So yeah, I love Boston in this spot at 4.
Chris?
Yeah, I agree with everything Lindy said. And it wasn't until the injury report came out and I was like, oh, shoot, Boston, hold on. Okay. Hold
on.
Okay.
The Kings might be rocking with everybody too, though.
Yeah, but Sabonis is his first game back, first leg of back-to-back games. The defense is terrible.
Lower body injury, right ankle, not probably going to play 36 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Boston's a really good interior defense as well, especially with Porzingis being there. So yeah, I know Boston is not profitable in the second leg of back-to-back games. They're 5-6 against the number, but they went into Portland kind of, took care of business, I think, relatively easy. And the biggest thing in this game, Kyle, is what does Sacramento defense do really, really bad? Guard the 3-point line. 39% shooting on the full season for their opponents, the worst in the NBA. 47% in the last 5 games. I'm just not sure they're gonna be able to get enough stops in this position. They're the second worst defensive team over the last 5 games. And for whatever reason, I don't know if Boston is just kind of tapping into their inner channeling their inner playoff energy. Since the break, you can pretty much say they've been winning games. We know Boston kind of took their foot off the gas a lot earlier in the season, but they're 9-6-1 against the number in their last since the All-Star break, 13-3. I mean, essentially, we just need them to win by two possessions here. So it's a super short number. I'm with Lindy. I don't get it. I didn't bet it. But I do think the Celtics are the right side. Yeah, just because the Kings don't play any 3-point defense, and Boston is just going to want to jack a bunch of threes in this spot, and they're probably going to make them. So go ahead, Kyle. Tell me you bet in Sacramento plus 4.5. I know that's what's coming.
If the Kings didn't have Oklahoma City tomorrow, I would, honestly.
Well, they're getting smoked in that game, too. I don't know what the number is.
One more thing for Boston. Boston, I think, was way behind to get the 1 seed. We're talking gigantic dogs. Cleveland's been on this road trip that's really sent them south, losing again yesterday. Like,
you hate to see it. You hate to see it.
You really do hate to see it. But
well,
now
they
they're
won
only
yesterday.
5 back.
They did win yesterday.
Back. Oh, they did win yesterday? I thought Cleveland
they beat
lost
Utah.
They beat the Jazz.
Utah
Oh, I'm a liar and I'm disgusting. Don't even look at me anymore. But no, it's they're only 5 back is the main thing, is that this was like 8 a week ago. Like, we're talking Boston coming at you fast and furious here potentially. I don't hate the idea. I mean, Boston's 9-1 their last 10 straight up here. I know you got to cover the number along with it, but everything is kind of pointing me in the direction of them. So, Jaylen Brown, hope you play. Domantas Sabonis, go ahead and take another night off. Malik Monk, you don't feel well. It's okay. Have a nap.
I don't know.
You want to do it so bad to me.
I like this Kings team, and they never get any respect. You guys, my guests never respect the Kings.
They shouldn't be respected. It's just the worst poorly constructed team ever. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Did we not just see this shit for like fucking 2 years? What are we actually doing with our lives? I don't understand why we would not be on the Boston side.
This is why. This is the kind of conversation that hurts my overall earnings, because now I want to bet the Kings just to say fuck you to Lindy for disrespecting the Kings.
That's not very nice of you, Kyle.
Put the Kings
they
up.
Beat they beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah, put the Kings up. Yeah, go ahead.
They beat the Grizzlies. They beat the Cavs. That Grizzlies team, boy, they're struggling. I'm interested to see what that line opens at against them versus Utah tomorrow.
That Grizzlies team, boy.
They are bad right now. I think when I wrote it in my notes for tomorrow, because I started looking into tomorrow's games, I think they're 2-13-1 against the number. So, you can give them a round of applause for beating the Grizzlies. They had the rest advantage in that game. They got the rest advantage today, I guess, as well. And then they beat the Cavs, who also had lost 4 in a row. But I mean, you lose to the Knicks by 29, you lose to the Warriors by 26, you lose to the Suns by 16, the Bulls by 12, who also were on the second leg of a back-to-back, and the Bucks by 6. I think the Celtics can come in here and win this game by 2 possessions. I'm with you, Lindy. Maybe it's just a team total over as well. I think Celtics going to be able to score the basketball at will. 113.5 seems pretty reasonable given all their starters that they're going to have today.
Kings or pass. All right. Clear the board. I'm not going to bet the Kings. Not with all those question marks. I mean, if they're all going to play Monk, Sabonis.
Cal, these lines, real quick, Cal, these lines are opening for tomorrow too. It's
I know.
Some good ones.
I got one.
We were talking about it before the show. It's
dude, that Orlando number's way too short against Charlotte. The problem is they're on a back-to-back. Who knows if they rest pieces? I also am eyeing up. You know what? I don't even want to say the other one because it's going to be my top bet. I'm waiting.
The books are listening.
I have it in the crosshairs right now. Waiting. But yeah,
is it at Schmadison, Schmer, Schmarden?
It's not at Schmadison, Schmer.
That ain't gonna be open until midnight tonight after the Dallas game go up.
I won't tell you the bet. It's in South Beach. That's where the game's at. That's how.
The number's moving. Just FYI, it moved half a point already.
Yeah, I'm strong on my. I don't have a position yet. I'm strong on my opinion of that game. But anyway, Lindy, where can they find your stuff?
Oddshopper.com, everybody. Would love for you guys to check out Lindy Leans Likes Locks. Obviously, MLB starting up on Thursday. That was an absolute cash cow last year. It was the best individual season I've had in any sport ever. I'm hoping to run it back here in the home run department. Want to be kind of cautious. You're going to get a new baseball. You never really know exactly what you're getting early in the season, but we're going to be hitting the ground running right from the get-go there. Wednesday evening, we'll have MLB stuff up. Thursday, ready to rock. Can't wait. I know Kyle can't wait. I know Toast really can't wait. Can't wait to tell that guy he's an idiot to his face a couple of times very, very shortly. Baseball's back. Would love to see you guys there.
Yeah, baseball back in just a few days. Chris, where can they find your stuff?
Over on YouTube at Crispy Cap and 2 P's 2 N, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wake that ass up and let's cash some tickets, man. Appreciate you having me on, Kyle. See you guys tomorrow.
Cool. Later, guys. All right. So for those of you that are sticking around, we got the Underdog Pick'em. Prop Beaver, what do you got for us?
Yeah, this is just a compilation of the friends in our community's picks. Tyrese Halliburton was Lindy's. He has the higher on his points and assists, and then I went to the Slumdog Millionaire Modai's channel, and I was looking at what he's got today. He went ballistic with the first quarter plays. It seems like every time he plays Kristaps Porzingis first quarter points, he cashes it. So I took that, and then I like his Brook Lopez play. I mean, there's no Damian Lillard on the floor today. Suns have not been that great at guarding centers all season long. Nick Richards, for the love of Christ, cannot defend anybody to save his life. So I like the Brook Lopez look there, higher than 13.5 points. Once MLB is actually here, you'll get opinions from the mouth of the Beaver himself. But until then, this is what I got here. Three-legger, Halliburton, Porzingis, Lopez, all higher. And then the promo of the day is Kevin Durant, higher than a half total point. So if you don't like one of those legs or would like to add a leg, you can do so. If you're not a new customer and would like to become one, you can in one of these lovely yellow states right here. Just got to use the promo code BET, B-E-T, and you can get a deposit match up to $1,000. Somebody asked about the betting league. Any updates with that?
Yeah, the betting league is we're in the middle of a 2-week March Madness special league for $300. Mm-hmm. We're halfway through. So if you didn't get in last week, your chances, you probably don't have a realistic chance to win. So you might as well wait until a week from today to join. We'll get back to normal starting next week. But yeah, I'll bring the standings. I could have sent you the standings. I didn't. I moved back into second place. I had a 4-0 day in March Madness. So I moved back into second place in the Big Hoss division. Couple people jumped out to big leads. We'll talk about it. I'll bring up the standings on tomorrow's show or something. You know what? Screw community parlay. It's almost 5 o'clock already. Everyone, hit me up in the Discord if you need me. Keep an eye out. I'm going to be firing for tomorrow's games. Got a couple eyeing up right now.